up? Go with the Yankees.
Hey, it's remember my adopted daughter, Ted?
I'm not adopted. Reverse the Curse is such a moving but also super funny movie. What about David's script and your character really sparked your interest to want to be a part of it?
Me, probably a little different than most, is David and I are very close friends for 50 years, since we were teenagers, young teenagers. And so I was aware when he was writing this novel. I was aware when he turned it into a screenplay. I was aware of all the machinations and almost there's trying to get it made. And I was in the middle of shooting my TV show when he called me up and said, I got it. We're going to start like tomorrow, basically. And, I had to ask the producers just to give me a couple of days off, and I ran in and just, so it wasn't like a lot of prep, but the other side of that is, if David's doing it, I'm a yes. I'm a yes, sight unseen, not only because he's my friend, but it's just always a lot of fun, like really a lot of fun.
I love hearing that. And I love that the NBC producers were able to let you get a few days off to join it. Because it was, you're a great part of this ensemble. And I would love to look at the barbershop squad in particular. I mean, you just mentioned that you didn't have a lot of time to prep. So I'm curious what it was like finding a rapport with everybody, outside of David and Logan in that barbershop group.
Well, I know Evan. And, he's a very funny guy, and he's kind of like the characters he plays in some ways. And so, he's easy to know. And, you don't want to plan anything, also it could become a little stale that way. And I never met Santo, but, fell in love with him as everybody does. And he had such a good time and everybody kind of made space for the other guys. It was somewhat improvisational and, we didn't have to worry about sound because they kept the mics open. So there's a lot of overlapping, if you notice. And we all kind of jumped in and kind of painted the picture to find out what it looks like, and we had to shoot a lot of stuff in a little bit of time. So there wasn't any time for like getting precious. And we just keep the cameras moving and there it was. It was like kind of commando style, a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I mean, it does come across very natural and very true as far as that chemistry. So I love that it just came real quick to you guys. So with you mentioning how improv it is, how did you go about, or what was your favorite bit of improv that David ultimately kept in the film from you guys?
Well, it's funny because, I'm just doing the stuff and I didn't, I'm like, oh, I hope it was good. I don't know. But then he was editing it with his girlfriend. They were looking at it, and he called me, said, "Oh my God, like he loved that line, penthouse." It's just like, I don't know what the hell that was. You know what I mean? So I don't have a favorite or anything like that. The whole thing is just one experience, and hopefully, we could shoot it again tomorrow and it'd be different and hopefully just as good,
I'm sure it would be with David at the helm. I mean, he's shown he's an incredible director just with this alone. So given that you didn't have much prep time then, and even though your character is more of a supporting player than David or Logan, I still find he is very essential to Logan's journey and to David's journey. How did you go about finding a through line for him, even with as little time as you had to sort of find who he was?
Well, who he is, the simplicity of it was a guy who was kind of lighthearted, a little bit unserious, but understood the stakes. And underneath in a very real way, he cares and loves those two men. And that's the simplicity of it. and the rest is kind of following the script and kind of painting the picture to find out what it looks like rather than painting by the numbers. You know,
that's a great approach. I mean,
well, it worked. I mean, of course, it could have sucked, but then he probably would have said, let's try something else, and that would have been fine. But, I think a lot of it is David creates an atmosphere, at least for me, where I feel extremely relaxed and, we're very, there's a case to be made that I know him and he knows me better than anybody else on the planet, because we've been through so much, or certainly in a different way than anybody else. There's an intimacy there. So, that's being able to feel safe is intimacy, so.
Well, and it takes a good director to make someone feel safe like that, but having a friendship, having a lifelong friendship as you have, I'm sure made it all the easier. So This film also walks an interesting tonal line as far as its heavier moments and its more comedic moments. You're obviously more present in the comedic moments, but I'm curious, what is it like walking that line for you as an actor for this film?
At least I don't play things that differently. That's a comedy or a tragedy. It's, all you have to just try and tell the truth and trust, if you understand what's happening, it'll either be funny or, heartbreaking. And you got to tell the truth. You got to tell the truth. That's all. There's a certain kind of thing in your mind. I don't know what it is, where okay, this is a funny moment and this is a sad moment, but generally that's up to the script and the director and the music.
Yes, those elements definitely can help highlight the emotion of a scene just as well as anything else. But I love, again, I keep saying it, but I love the way David did everything in this. I see I'm almost at a time. So before I let you go, a lot of readers here at Screen Rant are One Chicago fans. So if you'll indulge me, I've got a question or two about it. So will Voight get any new detectives coming up in Chicago PD season 12? Because Intelligence is now one of the smallest teams it's been to date on this show.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I've been talking to the writer, and I think that would be nice. But I have no, I can't guarantee anything at this point. But yes, we do need some people.
I hope you get them, because
we'll get them.
Just about finding the right ones. That's really what it comes down to. And for my very final question before I let you go, so John Cena recently had a Chicago PD reunion, and a lot of people are wondering if Antonio Dawson might be coming back for season 12. Can you give me any kind of insight into what the context was for that reunion?
The context was we had a cast party, and I had been talking to John, and we'd been meaning to get together. And I said, hey, why don't you just come to the cast party, be my date? And that was the significance of it. And then apparently it was all, I don't read the papers, but people said it was all over like this big thing. Obviously it'd be wonderful to have him back. He's a fantastic actor and just a classy gentleman, professional, just fantastic human. So I'm in, but I'm not the one who makes that call. But, if he's interested, I'm sure we could make at least some space for an arc if he doesn't want to be a series regular. But yeah, see, we could use some new people. Who knows? Maybe it'll be Antonio. Comes back.
Absolutely. That'd be amazing. As well as just like we said, getting a new team for you guys. But in the meantime, it has been an honor getting to talk with you, Jason. And I really cannot wait to spread the word about Reverse the Curse. I love this. And I cannot wait for people to get to see it. So thank you.
Funniest fart scene in cinematic history. And there's some good fart scenes, but that is the funniest fart scene I've ever seen.
I did sit there having a great time with that scene because it just was so out of nowhere. And I was like,
I know.
This is why I love this movie, because it knows when to let you laugh amidst its teary parts. So it just works. But thank you again, Jason. And I hope you have a great rest of your week, man.
Thank you. You too.
How long do you plan to stay?
Till one of us kills the other.
Mute. You don't have to say the word mute, just pressing the button. Mute. So, Tuesday.